Hello, it's the news at Gen for Wednesday, December 16th, 2020. Happy Tea Party Day. Nothing says America in protest like property destruction and littering. Today's top news story is rocks. Space rocks, that is. The Japanese Space Agency opened the Hayabusa 2 sample capsule and found that it contained gas and grains of material thought to be from the Ryugu asteroid. It's estimated that there are 1 to 2 grams of the material. This material, it is believed, is some of the most expensive material on Earth, and so therefore printer company Hewlett-Packard has announced plans to purchase the material, and the press release said that they would toss it in some printer ink and jack up the price 40-fold. Scientists believe that the material will shed light on how the asteroid Ryugu formed. What follows is an artist's depiction of that process. In nerd news, hot video game property Cyberpunk 2077 released, and the reviews are in. Don't buy the game, especially if you're running the last-gen systems. Older Xbox and PlayStation systems are a buggy mess, and even if you enjoy the game's story, the game itself is just kind of broken. When reached for comment, game developer and publisher CD Projekt said, "Tough shit, they already had your money." In Jeopardy news, Kate Freeman made a small bit of history winning an episode of Jeopardy on Friday as an out transgender person. Reported the first person to be out during their time on the show. I don't have a joke for that, so proud of you, Kate. In movie news, Tom Cruise is on record for scolding MI7 crew members for violating COVID-19 social distancing measures. I don't get the problem here. Good on you, Mr. Cruise. But can't you just pay for the fucking crew with all your money instead of putting them in harm's way? Speaking of being in harm's way, this is a great time to remind you of our sponsor, Great Sandwiches Plus. Their special today only, is the risky business. Somebody canceled a huge order yesterday, and so they're just going to shred all the old sandwiches and put it in new bread. So you never know what you're going to get. Is it roast beef? Is it an old tire? Is it the fingernail of the new guy who's getting used to the meat slicer? You never know until you take a bite. Try your risky business today. Mine came with an old face mask, which is very useful. Remember to give Gen money as the code word, and you'll get a negative discount. Or just give me money. And speaking of risky business, Tuesday morning, Senate Majority Leader and man ordering 2 baby souls for the road, Mitch McConnell, acknowledged reality. He acknowledged that Joe Biden would be the next president. This take took him 6 weeks after the election. His chief of staff said he had a good reason. It was because the senator had taken a road trip to count the number of billboards for Kentucky's Mammoth Cave. There are quite a few. In bet news, one of the world's largest online bookies is finally paying out on bets made for Joe Biden to win the U.S. presidential election. Online betting company Betfair is facing backlash from more than just one sore loser in Donald Trump. One person placed a 100,000-euro bet on Donald Trump to win, and Mr. Trump himself used the odds in his favor to claim victory in lawsuits. Of course, another lawsuit is planned, but I'm going to have to put my money on the bookies for this one. Also in money news, the U.S. Congress appears to be on the cusp of another coronavirus relief bill, after nearly 300,000 people have died. This bill will likely include a $600 or $700 check per person, which Trump said would be good enough for lunch for most Americans. He doesn't know. It's been a long time since he actually bought anything with his own money directly. In unrelated news, Sony and Microsoft execs were seen steepling their fingers when the price of the check was discussed. Yes, you need a next-gen console, don't you? Yes. In real estate news, did you know that Mar-a-Lago Resort is not technically a residence? The club, seen here in its original form, is not a residence due to some tax breaks with the city. Mr. Trump planned to move there after his tenure at the White House, but some of his future neighbors are protesting. One potential neighbor says he did not want the stench of a loser in the air to compete with the dying fish that wash up on the beach periodically. In winter news, it's gonna snow. In my area, it's supposed to snow again on Saturday. Remember how you drove last year in the fucking snow? Do it again! Don't let the first snow take you by surprise. Remember, it's cold and slippery. There you go. Slow down. Tap the brakes a little early. Speaking of slippery, North Carolina State Senator and generic white male model 4523B, Bobsteinberg, encouraged Donald Trump to call for the suspension of liberties under the Insurrection Act. The post on Facebook was deleted. Of course, he meant for only other people's liberties to be suspended. This isn't the first time Mr. Bob has had some rather bizarre ideas. He said that extending a stay-at-home order would be more devastating than the virus, and that was in the past April 30th. On April 30th, there were about 1 million positive tests and 55,000 dead. The post was deleted. We just passed 300,000 deaths. I guess Mr. Bob has also posted on Facebook that the virus was a hoax way back in March. That post was also deleted. I mean, he did write a bill to allocate $1.8 million for prison management software that the Prison Management Bureau did not want. And he wrote the bill in such requirements that were made for one vendor, Tyler Technologies. He keeps making these mistakes and deleting Facebook posts. Maybe that bill was also a mistake. And finally, in News at Gen News, next week I'll be taking off Wednesday and Friday. Probably. Friday is, of course, Christmas. Maybe I'll be able to squeeze out an episode on Wednesday, depending how much fiber I've had, but don't count on it. I will be here on Friday the 18th. So also, watch this space. I'm working through a couple things that I'm not ready to announce, but it'll be first announced on the Patreon, so please join that and learn what I'll try and launch. I'll probably fail at in the next year, but god damn it, I'm going to try. So that's all for now. I'll see you on Friday for the final News at Gen for the week. Please remember to like, subscribe, and also remember, I love you. I really do.